Well, good afternoon folks, and welcome to another review video. First, two quick apologies. Firstly, we're looking at a Polish airport, so my pronunciation may be way off, so I apologise for that if I get it wrong, but I will try my best. Secondly, I want to apologise to those people who were expecting the Masai Mara Game Reserve review. There are one or two issues with that scenery, in as much as some of the animals were not at the locations as posted on the map, so I need to investigate that, but I will review it at some point. However, let's go back to today. We are in Poland. We are at Bydgosczc Airport in Poland. Echo Papa Bravo Yankee. I don't know if I pronounced that right, but it's a payware scenery by Drzeweicki Design, who, as you are well aware, have a great reputation of designing good sceneries, and this is no exception. It's an interesting little airport, and again they've done some wonderful bits and pieces to it, and you've also got effects as well. You can see here smokestacks in the distance, and they've done some development outside the airport as well, which is really good news. So this is just under a gig download, 0.97 gigabytes, and it installs into your community folder at 1.93 gigs, so just under 2 gigs. It's available from Orbix and SimMarket. Prices at Orbix are a little bit cheaper, so prices at Orbix, you can get this for €8.83, which equates to $9.31 US, or £7.54 in the UK. Now, these prices are estimates and they do not include VAT or tax, which will depend on your country of purchase, where you purchase it from. As I said, they're slightly cheaper, in fact a little bit more cheaper at Orbix than they are at SimMarket, but this product is available at both locations. So as you can see, really right off the bat, the location's quite stunning, and they've done a wonderful job of blending the airport into the scenery, and of course they've added some bits and pieces to make it look much more effective, and we'll go into that in a minute. But let's start with a bit of history. So here's where I practice my pronunciation. Bydgosczc Ignacy Jan Paderewski Airport, or Echo Bravo Papa Yankee, is a Polish regional airport in the city of Bydgosczc in Poland. It lies 2.2 miles or 3.5 kilometers from the city centre, and is around 31 miles or 50 km from the city of Torun. It is the 11th largest airport in Poland in terms of passenger traffic, and is listed as a public military airport. The airport was created during World War I for the German army. In 1920 the airport was taken over by the Wielkopolska army, and under the Treaty of Versailles the airport has served the Polish army ever since. Civil aviation flights commenced in 1929 when the national carrier LOT, Polish Airlines, opened connections to Gdansk, Warsaw and Poznan. These connecting flights operated until 1933. During World War II and in its aftermath, the airport underwent numerous developments. However, unfortunately, the LOT Polish Airlines connecting flights were not reactivated until 1948, and they are operated from the airport only until 1981, with a break of over 10 years in the 1960s. Connecting flights to Poznan and Gdansk were suspended at that time. The longest remaining connection was Bydgoszcz to Warsaw. 1992 saw an eventful period of economic development, including the civil airport in Bydgoszcz. For this purpose, the Aviation Corporation Limited, can't really pronounce the Polish name, but it's basically Bydgoszcz Aviation Corporation Limited, was founded and operated until 1995. Was then restructured and transformed into a public limited company known as Port Lotniczy Bydgoszcz SA, which currently manages the airport. On 1st of May 2004, a new modern terminal building was opened, and on 31st of January the company actually was awarded the statue of Polski Klub Biznesu, or Polish Business Club. The airport served 413,000 passengers or over 413,000 passengers in 2018, which dropped to around 128,000 in 2020, largely due to COVID. Currently 3 airlines operate into and out of this airport: LOT, Polish Airlines, Ryanair, and Freebird Airlines as a seasonal charter operator. The main apron is located to the east, close to the threshold of runway 26. As you can see down here, here's runway 26, and here's the main apron here. There are 2 aprons, a terminal and a control tower. This is all located in this area here. There's actually further apron up here as well, apron 4. We'll have a look at that later. So as you can see, we've turned the lighting down so we can have a look at the runway lighting in general here. So we're looking down the throat of runway 26. The airport itself operates a single main runway, asphalt concrete mixture, 0826, which is 8,202 feet long, or 2,500 meters. In addition, the airport has 3 grass runways to the north of the runway 08 threshold. That's up over here, and we'll look at those in a bit. These runways are runway 2911 at 2,133 feet, or 650 meters. Runway 08 left, 26 right, also at 2,133 feet or 650 meters. And finally runway 0220, the smallest, at 1,936 feet or 590 meters. And note there are no instrument approach procedures for the grass runways, visual operations only. So here we are looking down the throat of runway 0826, we're looking down 26 there. The main runway features high-intensity runway lighting systems on both ends. You can see them here, and actually these are some of the longest lead-in lights I've seen in any scenery so far. Runway 26 features precision approach path indicator on the left side, but also has semi-flush lights to aid the transition from instrument to visual flight. Runway 26 also features a standard instrument landing system. Now I can't see those flash lights, but what we'll do now is just go a little bit closer to the threshold and see if we do see them. So here we are close to the threshold of runway 26, and as you can see, the lighting that I can see is perfectly normal, but nothing additionally set there. Like I said, they've got the longest leading light system I've seen so far in a scenery, and you've got the end identifier lighting here. But I can't see any semi-flush lights. Maybe it might be something at the other end or further down the runway. So let's have a trip down the runway to the runway 08 threshold. So as you can see, the runway is perfectly okay. It's lit from either side. I'm not going to have any problems with this at all in terms of landing or takeoffs in the low light at night time. There's the VOR station to the right, we're just passing there, have a look at that later. So runway looks perfectly normal, I can't see anything in addition to the standard lighting. So here we are looking down towards runway 08, we've got the runway 08 threshold in front of us. And again you can see the high intensity runway lighting system, but this is significantly shorter than the one at the other end, which I guess is fairly okay because the other end probably is a normal landing one with the ILS. So anyway, runway 08 features precision approach path indicators on the left side, as you can see, and the high intensity runway lighting system, a shortened version. Both runways also feature RMP and VOR approach options as well. So here we are looking at the grass runways in the northern corner of the airport here, literally right off the runway 08 threshold. Here you can see them here. So this is runway 2911. This is the runway 26 right, 08 left, which is almost the same as this main runway here. And here's the shorter of the 3 grass runways, 0220. This one's just really under 2,000 feet. And here you can see Apron 3, which is the one that goes up towards this area here. So there we are then. Bydgosczc Airport in Poland, Echo Papa Bravo Yankee by Drzeweicki Design. As you can see, beautiful airport, nicely modelled and fitted into the location, with some other bits and pieces as well. This is listed as a civilian military airport, so you'll see some military bits and pieces down the side here. But anyway, let's get down and dirty, have a look at the main Apron terminal, which is where you'll be operating into and out of mostly for the airline pilots among us. So here we are on the main Apron. I just wanted to show you this to start with. This is a dynamic aircraft, a static aircraft even, that's part of the scenery, and this is typical of this developer and how much detail they tend to go to, which is why I like them so much. Here you've got passengers boarding an aircraft. Okay, they're static, but they're there, and if you listen carefully you can hear the APU hissing. So here we are behind the aircraft and you can hear the APU noise going really well. Nice bit of detail, even close up there. And the same is true there, and you can even hear the signs or the noises of the high lift and the various cargo vehicles going along as well. And how about the engine sound there from that Douglas tow bar aircraft, or tow bar vehicle that pushes the aircraft back. Some lovely sound effects in this scenery, really, really nice. So there's my aircraft sitting on stand. As you can see, bits and pieces all around. It looks really nice. The ramp details are lovely, and the building as the main terminal, which looks really nice, and you've got people there looking out. So let's get a little closer to the terminal. Really nice there, little place for the people to stand and watch the proceedings. And the terminal is beautifully done. You can see in through the windows up the top there. There is internal work on the terminal. We're going to have a look in a minute. So here's a shot of the main ramp there with stand number 3. You can see the ground markings are quite nice. There's the usual equipment that is there that should be there, and 1 or 2 static people as well. Buildings to the left as well there with some nice cars parked outside. So there's a nice touch. We've got the cars there. They're nice models, really, really good and detailed. You can even read the registrations. And looking at the building, you've got these amazing illusions with things going on inside. So let's go towards the main terminal, have a look inside there. So here's the landside part of the main terminal. Which you can see, you've got doors open and closing, which is a nice little animation. With some people standing around and some shops, buildings nicely detailed. Here's another shot showing the upper level with people there. You've got the car rental agencies, and there are people down there checking in. Some vending machines on the upper level there, and an ATM. And some people checking in, and 1 or 2 airport staff. Really nice to see check-in desks with staff behind them as well as people in front of them. All the signs are crystal clear here, as you can see. Everything is great. And the other thing to notice about this scenery is the sounds. You can hear bits and pieces of what's going on, ambient noise, which makes the terminal come alive. There's another set of doors that are animated, and some more people. Just another look at the upper floor. There's a larger view of the terminal itself from the other end, and again you can hear this ambient noise which gives the terminal some sort of life, which is really impressive. Let's go landside. Okay, here we are landside. You can see the animated doors operating there, some nice car models, people standing around, signage. Everything on the building looks really impressive. There's the car park to the left there and the lead-in road. This hasn't quite come out so well, but again, it's just nitpicking really. Everything else is nicely done. This is at a slightly lower resolution, but nonetheless it's been done, and that's the important thing. And looking in the other direction there, you can see the animated doors and the bits and pieces. Once again, there's a shot from landside to airside showing the building on the end here and the control tower, and you've got the airside landside fence and gates here, and there's our plane being loaded. Again, nice car models, nicely detailed, registrations all beautifully visible. And there's an overview of the building, looking at landside, the building itself in the middle, and the airside area ramp with the aircraft and bits and pieces going on. Are all beautifully detailed, nicely done, all sits really nice. Love the way the building's been done. Let's have a look at the airside part of the interior terminal. And here we are into the airside part of the terminal. There's a lounge coffee shop here, and again it's this beautiful noise ambience that you can hear. People talking away. Would have been nice to see maybe one or two animated people, but I don't know. They've done, at the end of the day, they've done a lovely job. It's just really lovely. Great, again, good signage there, very crystal clear at the end, tables, people. And there's a look at it from the outside. As you can see, the glass is really nicely done so that you get the right effect, and it's quite good looking outside to the terminal as well. And there we are looking out towards the ramp. The effect is very nice. Lovely, very impressive. Right, here you can see people queuing to go out to the ramp to board their aircraft. Obviously they're going out in batches. First batch has gone out there. Second batch is lined up with an airport official waiting to send them out. And if you listen carefully again, you can hear a slight little bit of ambience that makes this sound as though you're really in the terminal. Very nice indeed. Okay, so now we're in the control tower, and as you can see there's development inside. Again, a great, really just very well done. Nice detail, two people there, radar screens. So there you are. I just stayed quiet for a moment with those views so you could hear. They've actually got air traffic control chatter going on inside the control tower, which is a lovely touch. This is really stunning. I'd like to see some of this done in some of the other sceneries. And there's a view of the inside of the control tower looking from the outside. Just very nice indeed. So that about does it for the main apron and the terminal. As you can see, a lot of work has been done. I particularly like the audio ambience. It's a lovely touch, brings the airport to life, and it's really good. From a pilot's point of view, you've got everything you need here. You've got one stand being occupied by one static aircraft, which leaves you good 3 or 4 other stands free. And as you can see, nice attention to detail on the ramp generally. Buildings are in really good shape. So let's have a little run over the car park and the adjacent buildings here. As you can see, that building is so nicely done. You've got the interiors not modelled, but you've got effects as though it has. Everything down to the air conditioning units on top of the buildings. Here, look, you've got signage, which is again really clear and stunning. Barriers on one side, exit barriers on the other. And there you can see the detail on this here. It's really, really nicely done. Just about every little sign is detailed. And again here you can see the fence line is really well done, and even these little signs, the details are on here are just really wonderful. Okay, so when you come up close, that sign is a little bit blurred, but I wasn't expecting anything less. It's just really, really good. And the level of detail on the signage generally in the scenery is stunning. They've done a wonderful job. This is top notch, really is. So I just want to take you out on the main road out of the airport so you can have a look at what's been done here, because they've left nothing to chance here. They've done this as well. Go a little bit quicker. The only problem is, of course, as you get here, you get the trees sort of coming in and closing over, but that's an Asobo issue. But generally this road mostly here is okay. They've got lighting there. We'll look at the lighting in a moment. And here you've got they've completed the bridge over the main highway here. And there you can see the highway going towards the south and looking towards the north. Now let's take a trip along here and have a look at the detail, because as you can see, they've added a lot here. They've really done a little bit of an environment job here. It just looks beautiful. There you can see trucking, DHL there. Buildings look beautiful. Some of these are default, some of them have been added. But this is a lovely little area right next to this airport. As we get up to the city there, you've got typical Polish buildings. There you've got what looks like a supermarket or something there, but you can see lots of buildings, bits and pieces that have been added. All looks really nice. Would have been nice to see these roads slightly improved. Still a bit sort of photogenic out here, but I've got no complaints really. I mean, they've added bits and pieces here to the scenery which really don't matter to some extent, but just really augment what is a beautiful airport scenery. Great to see some stuff being done off airport. As you can see here, we've got buildings and bits and pieces here. It's just incredible. Really, really nicely done. Another place where you could take a slow flight aircraft or helicopter and do a little exploring. That's a specially modelled vehicle building that's been added there. It's just wonderful. And here we are headed back towards the airport. There you can see the layout. It's a lovely little area. So let's have a look at this area up by the grass runways. Here you can see this little area that's been developed. Very nice indeed. So here you can see we've got a couple of hangars, we've got a smokestack with a smoke effect, which I think is really good. It's really lovely, well done. Got a couple of aircraft sitting there, a couple of 737s. You will see a lot of 737s here because you've got Ryanair that comes here quite a lot. So as you can see, there's some detail here, nothing much inside as far as I can understand it, but again, just a nice touch to have this done. So there we are, just pulled back a little bit so you can see the greater airport and you can see the grass runways. And whatever you do, guys, don't mistake this for a runway. So here are the 3 grass runways together. Various hangars and buildings here on this side of the airport, on this apron. So a quick look at the fire station there. Beautiful model of a Scorpion fire tender. Very, very nicely done. And there's a fuel tanker model, again really nicely done. And look, you can even see the fence line sneaking through the trees. This is realism, beautiful. Really, really nice, very impressive. So let's go and have a look at some of the military hangars here, or some of the military area. As you can see, it's typical. There's an aircraft there on the right. So for all you fighter jet jockeys, plenty of options here for you. Again, markings are really good, the buildings look nice. Okay, they haven't been overdone, but they, as far as hangars go, they look really good. Military hangars. Got a private jet out here. Very nice. And beautifully done. There's an open hangar, which is good. Some tucked away in the trees there. And that's Apron 4 down there. And again, really nice attention to detail. And there we are. I hope to see a military jet, and there's one. Again, great attention to detail, everything sharp and clear. Another open hangar, very impressive. So there you go, that's a look at the airport generally and one or two of the off-airport environments during the day. Let's turn the light down now and have a look and see what the lighting is like. Okay, just coming up to 25 past 8 in the evening. Remember, this is May, early May, it's summertime. And as you can see, lighting's starting to come on. Plenty of subtle lighting here at the terminal area. And the local area as well is just beautifully bathed in the sunset. As you can see, some local city lighting has been done too. And again, over here by the grass strips, you can see the lovely effect on the smoke there. And again, we've got lighting, just little bits of it here that we'll have a look at in a minute, which looks really good. So let's get down close to the main terminal area and have a look at what the ramp looks like. Okay, as I said, it's early evening, the sun's pretty much gone down now and lights are starting to come on. Again, you've got some lovely subtle lighting. I can't see any Asobo globes sitting around, so everything's lit nicely, even on the building here. A couple of the vehicles have their lights on too. There's even some lighting inside the static model. See, once again, you can see lighting being, the light is provided as it should be here by the drop down lamps here. And look, inside the aircraft, it's really, really nicely done. And one or two little animated construction, or not construction, baggage loaders there. And you can hear this going, the engine noise. Again, this is really beautifully done. Lights on the ground power truck over there, and even light inside this, so you can see inside the baggage bay. So just looking across the landside fence there to the car park here, you can see a good example of how lighting should be done. All the stanchions are there, areas are lit, everything's nice and subtle, lovely reflections on the glass here. And here these two big main lamps are providing light down here. Not an asobo globe in sight, very impressive. So here's our people still waiting to come out and board the aircraft. Little bit of flickering there, but that's to be expected. Right, so these are some of the upper floors on the side of the building where there's no internal development, but you can see they've got this wonderful illusion here that shows you that there is bits and pieces going on inside. This is really, really well done. And I love the subtle lighting here. And there again on the end of the building where the tower is, I'm not sure if that's actually, looks like it's developed in there. Let's go and have a quick look. No, it's not. So as you can see how realistic that looked. I mean, that looks almost real, like they've done something inside, but actually it's not. Let's check out the tower while we're here. There's a view from the outside, and again, look down here, you can see this, obviously this has not been developed, but doesn't it look real? It's really, really good. And again, inside the tower, I just wanted you to hear the air traffic control voices going on. Ambient noise is beautiful, and again, looking out through the glass, you've got the lighting effects on the other buildings that are nicely seen from the inside. Detail is amazing. It's a really nice piece of work, it is. So let's just travel across here and have a look at the buildings generally and the lighting effects. As you can see, I mean, this is stunning down here, where they've done that inside the building. Some of the best internal effects, or illusionary effects I should say, that I've seen. Catering vehicles, again you've got these illusionary effects inside. Even the gate building there on the left. And how about that, you've even got traffic sounds. Very nice. So let's travel up towards the terminal from landside. Here you can see the building that's not been developed inside has this beautiful texturing on to make it look as though it actually is developed inside. It's stunning. That's really impressive. And again, you can see just how good the detail looks and how impressive the lighting is generally. I mean, it looks great. It looks really, really good. And again, see, if we look in through the windows, you can see the internal lighting and the signs and everything that's going on inside. And there's a view of the internal landside part of the terminal where the check-in is. So there you go, a little overview of the airport at dusk. The lighting is very subtle. It's really, really nicely done. The lighting sources are absolutely correct. Not an asobo globe in sight. Beautiful. So let's turn the lighting down to night time now and have a look and see what the difference is. Hoping that the lighting will come up a bit on the ramp. Okay, 10 PM local time here, and as you can see, the lighting has come up significantly on the airport ramp, and it looks really, really good. A slight change to the way the lighting looks landside. Here it looks a little bit more greeny yellow, sort of tungsten lighting type. Maybe that's the way it is at the real airport. Many of the older airports in the world these days still using tungsten lighting instead of the more modern neon LED lighting. So let's have a lower look at ground level. So as you can see, it looks perfectly acceptable. Lovely colours. Lighting's good. All the signs are still there. They sort of look the same as they were the way they should be. And interesting to see this red sort of glow on the roof now. So you can see some of the way this comes out a lot more in the darkness. again you've got the inside of the terminal well lit, and this lovely illusionary facade on the outside of some of the buildings where there has not been any internal development done. Very, very nicely done, probably the best I've seen. Just move across the ramp there, you can see the red top of the building, and the ramp area looks really good. Let's have a look at some of the signs. Taxiway signs there, looks good. Ground markings are still beautifully done. Here with the lights to the right you can still see. So here's the threshold of 2.6. No wigwags, but I'm not sure that they've got them actually in the real world. But again, the signage, taxiway signage is really good. But here, looking at Apron 2, this is, you've got these big lights that light up the area really well. There you go, looking back towards the terminal. Here you've got the blue airfield edge light that marks the boundary of the area of the airfield, so you don't go into the grass. And again, nice signage that's well lit. This is really, really good. Just a slightly higher elevation view of the main terminal and parking area. As you can see, it's really well lit. There's not really a problem. You've got plenty of signage. Lighting is good. The blue edge lights mark the area. Bear in mind this is a really narrow entry point, so when taxiing in, especially if you're online with VATSIM and there are other things going on, this is going to be a choke point. You're going to have to be really careful. But you've got 3 stands, 2 of which would be 3. One is occupied by this static airliner, and then here as you come back you've got Apron 2 on this side here, which would have 3 stands for you as well to park at. Looking towards the city there, some great lighting in the city. They've obviously done some bits and pieces as well there. Here you can see the little bits of the approach lights that look a lot better from the other side obviously. So 2.6 could be a good way to come into land here. Maybe I'll do a video of this. We'll fly in here at night time and have a look at this on the way in. Another view of some of the city work there. So just passing down the runway during the nighttime hours, as you can see, lighting's good, signage is good, entrance and exits to the runway well defined, as is the taxiway here. I want to just go across to the grass area and see if there's any lighting. In fact, yes there is, it's over there. Just this whole place looks really, really nice to visit. It's high on my list of places to fly into, I have to say that. So there's the main hangar we saw, with some exceptionally good lighting there to show. All looks good. Smokestacks have stopped working, but then you'd expect that at this time of the night. And again, some subtle lighting on the buildings. Nothing to write home about, but enough to make you think there's something going on. And yet another example of just how well they do this illusion of things going on inside a building when it's not been developed. Look at this. Again, some developers could really learn from this. Absolutely stunning the way this has been done. It looks real and we're up close, but there's no internal design. It's just wonderful. Love to see this applied to so many other buildings. The technique is great. Well done, guys. So just a look back across towards the main airport terminal over here, the runway. Here's the Apron 3 that I told you about with the grass area and the city in the distance. What a beautiful, beautiful place. So let's bring up the lighting to dawn and have a look and see what that looks like. Okay, 5:15 in the morning local time, again in the summer. Now you can see the river there and the smokestacks here, the airport here. The lights are just beginning to fade out. The airport and this area is bathed in the morning sunrise. And there we've got the sun in the distance, and you've got these lovely smoke effects, which I think are just, they really just trying to touch it off. It's brilliant. Okay, 7 AM local time. As you can see, the sun is well up, and the same view looking towards the river there, with the terminal down in the lower right here. Here's the main runway, grass strips over here, and you've got the city in the distance. Okay, let's wrap this up. What do I think? This is up there with one of the top sceneries, mainly because there are so many little effects in here which set it apart from even some of the big developers. Developers like Airsoft, Pyrig Dev Company, Fly Tampa, those are the top ones, and yet this one, Drzeweicki design, is right up there with them. Their design skills are brilliant, but what I like is that they've added the audio ambience, which really enhances the scenery. The two standout things for me are the audio enhancements, and also the way that they've done the buildings that haven't been developed inside. That technique that makes it look real is just stunning. It's wonderful. So what do I think? I think it's a fantastic scenery, and just again a disclaimer, I bought this scenery. I wasn't sent it for review. I bought and paid for it, and we will do a flight into here to have a look. I might even take an evening helicopter flight over here to have a look at the lighting around the city. The location is stunning. It's a lovely little airport, and is the price right? Yeah, just a steal. €8.83 plus VAT at 20%. You know, it's not expensive, and you get so much for your money here. Some other developers that are charging 20 to 25 euros and above some of their products really should look at these developers who bring so much to our world for so little cost. It's a lovely airport. Poland's hour and a half to 2 hours away, 2 hours and a bit away from the UK, well within your capability. And this is a nice little airport for the up and coming 737, which is going to be released tonight. We're May the 9th today. This is 2:45 UK time. In the next couple of hours, BMDG are releasing the 737-700 for Flight Sim 2020, and this is a nice destination for Ryanair, so maybe somewhere you might want to fly into. So this is Lee saying thank you very much for joining me in another review. Hope you enjoyed it. This is a stunning little airport to add to your collection, and it's peanuts. It's a steal. Hats off and kudos to Drzeweicki Design. They've come up with another wonderful product, and I heartily recommend it. So thanks for joining me, guys. I'll see you in the next review coming up shortly. All the best. Take care now. Bye bye.